Hello there, lovely people. This is me, Ashley, sending you my love from whatever reality I find myself in to you in whatever reality you find yourself in today. This is just a very quick video because I've got literally like maybe half an hour before family members start arriving. So I've been, as we're walking through realities, because we're walking through realities. My reality seems to change on a daily basis, to be fair. Something that I've noticed, starting off when I very first found Mandela Effect videos and realised that what I'd been experiencing was called the Mandela Effect, and obviously other people, you out there, were also experiencing the same things. But I remember watching a video clip where I can't remember what film it was, but it was a well-known line, and the person had put up the link and said, right, here we are, look, that line's changed, there was words missing in it. Well, I watched it, and I do remember distinctly thinking, well, that's how I can hear exactly what they're saying, it sounds exactly the same to me, which was when I first had the thought that we are experiencing different realities at the same time. That's when I first realised that what was a change to other people, and they were watching the same video, that it was a change to them, but for me, it sounded like it always had. It wasn't a difference. I could definitely still hear the original words, whereas many on the thread, they couldn't. Now, that's actually watching the same video. So I realised that we aren't sharing the same reality at the same time, although we're able to connect with each other over the internet. I also noticed that by joining, like I've said before, by joining forums online, some of them where they allow the non-affected to come in who were arguing different points with me, I realised then that they're in a different reality to the one I'm in. We're not looking at it all at the same time. But then, because of this other video, that's been on my mind, like for over a year. That's been on my mind. And then after having made a vlog the other day, a video the other day, somebody, I'm sorry, I can't remember who you were, mentioned to me that, because I had always thought, I've been thinking, if we have different realities to each other, but we meet up, what would happen to our reality? Would one of us slip into the other person's reality? What would happen? I've got this real thing of need to find that out. But also, it's a case of, this person on the video had actually said to me that they know of people who had, two affected people who had gone to, I think it was the sign of their town, I think it was their town sign, and they wrote down what they could see. And the spelling for both of those people stood in the same physical place, were seeing a different spelling on the sign in front of them. So that really adds to the whole, is my reality that I'm seeing the same as yours that you're seeing when you stood with me? Because clearly for those people, the sign had a different spelling to each one of them, stood there in the same time frame, physical time frame, looking at the same evidence, getting completely different answers, completely different spelling. So is it, you see, it does make it complicated, because I understand that even the non-affected, they do remember things as they used to be sometimes. Not all the time, but they do actually remember it and can't cope with it. Or have the download to it, just accept this one, this reality, whatever reality it is today. But are we actually just seeing different things at the same time? Like I've said before, I explained once where my non-affected friend, her workplace changed completely. It went from stone decoration inside to wood, and she never noticed. She's in there 13 hours a day and never noticed. So I was thinking then, is she still seeing the old thing, whereas I'm seeing this new wooden thing? Is she still seeing the old stone black and white? You see, there's just so much. But it is really, it's not only that we share different realities at the same time, it seems that we can be hearing, like from the same video, hearing different things, and standing in front of the same sign and having totally different spellings from what you're seeing. I wish we could do more of that kind of experimentation, because it's got my mind in an absolute whirl now. It's got me thinking of all kinds of other things. So, yeah, what do you think, people? Have you experienced that kind of thing where watching the same video as other people, you've heard something different? Have you experienced it where a friend of yours has been looking at something and you're looking at something and you're seeing a different thing at the same physical time? I mean, as always, people, there are a gazillion questions, none of which lead to any answers. But it's by speaking to each other and communicating with each other that we're starting to piece little bits together. Because at first, people just all thought the people from Sagittarius had just moved to Orion and that they were now living an Orion life. Whereas, in fact, no. I was an Orion original, sharing exactly the same changes that you were at one point. All of the movie lines, the JFK, the globe changing, all of the big first things, all of the, Kit Kat, all of those logo changes, all of those Ford, all of those things were exactly the same. And then I noticed through talking to people that we were actually starting to have different realities to each other, even though we were here, moved together. We were then starting to have different realities to each other, where different things are changing. Things like a lot of you out there, your heart recently moved from the left to the middle. That changed for me in the 1980s. So we know it's through talking to each other and hearing each other's experiences that we can put together the fact that we're living in different realities at the same time. But can we actually be living, seeing a different reality with the person stood next to us? Is the person stood next to us not seeing the same thing we are? So many questions and no answers. But it's by connecting with each other that we can begin to understand that whatever this is, it seems to be affecting us in a personal way, obviously, because we see changes in our own personal lives. We can see buildings pop up where they never used to be and all that kind of stuff going on. But then there is at one point I thought that I was walking into a reality where that was normal for everybody all the time. Everybody that was there was just going through, this is their normality. And are we actually seeing the same thing now? Are we actually seeing the same thing now? I don't know. Anyway, as always, people, thank you for sharing your thoughts, experiences with me, because it just adds to the story, it adds to the evidence. And just let me know what you think of this weird little thought that I'm having. Because, even that doesn't even add up properly, because I do know that some people have a North Pole, other people don't have a North Pole, ice cap. I do know that some people that are unaffected do see changes. Other people that are unaffected just do not see it at all, and they're just adamant that we're all lunatics, misremembering lunatics. But when you see changes actually happening, in front of you, where your reality has changed, it doesn't necessarily mean it has for the person that's with you in some instances. So, yet again, no answers, loads of questions, befuddled head. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. And as always, thank you for being here for me. I'm going through some pretty hard family times at the minute. So I'm not able to be online as much as I can. And that's why I'm making these videos quickly when I'm able to. Thank you all for being so patient with me, for your love, support and understanding. And let me know what you think. All my love till next time, good people.